Hello everybody and welcome back to the Future, the game, Episode 3, Citizen Brown. Our story so far, there's a lot of things going on, as you can tell by this massive wall of text before us. Marty has finally found Citizen Brown, locked behind gates in the fortress-like courthouse. Problem is, he can't get in without an appointment or some other clever means. Marty also ran into Biff, now eerily passive and polite due to the Citizen Plus program he's enrolled in. Biff described how he short-tracked his meeting with Citizen Brown. He broke rules, and lots of them, and I feel like we'll be following suit. Jennifer, done with her community service for vandalism, has set up shop in the alley, working on her next masterpiece of vandalism. Clearly she's learned nothing. Marty, barely able to get the time of day from her, left her alone to simmer. Shortly after emerging back onto the streets, he was nearly run over by his mother and the McFly family golf cart. Lorraine McFly, seeming a bit tipsy, was in a rush to get to her civic duties, and left Marty with the keys to the car and message for his father, George. Well, at least George is still in the picture, so that's better than the other dystopian alternate. The date, May 15th, 1986, 3:25 p.m. And since she just showed up, why don't we talk to Lorraine a little bit?
Mom?
She does seem a little lost in the eyes.
I'm having a bad day, Mom. Can I ask you a few things?
We all have our share, son.
I, lost my timesheet. What have I got going on this week?
Well, Monday is Junior Brown Brigade.
Junior what now?
And Tuesday is Model UN.
Model UN?
Mm-hmm. You represent Djibouti. On Wednesday, you'll be overseeing the board game club at the rec center.
Okay, I've heard enough.
This is a perfect example of how environments can change who a person is. Because this Marty is very much none of those things.
I saw Jennifer earlier today.
Oh, Jennifer. What a spunky gal. Are you two patching things up?
She totally blew me off.
Well, I'm not the world's biggest dating expert, seeing as how I married the first guy to fall from the sky. But maybe you should spend a little less time with your microscopes and ant farms, and a little more time tending to her needs. What kind of things is she passionate about, Martin? What are her interests?
I don't even know anymore.
Aw.
You see?
Everyone is treating me like some sort of goody two-shoes, Mom.
They're just jealous that you're such a perfect citizen of Hill Valley.
Have I always been this way?
Always been a perfect little son. Going on 18 years now.
What about that time I set fire to the living room?
Oh, but you only did that so you could show us the fire retardant you made with your chemistry set.
Heavy.
Wow, what a change in the story there.
All right, let's talk about something else.
Alrighty, dear.
What about you, Mom?
What about me?
What are you doing out here polishing the statue?
I know! I was scheduled to clean the clock this month, but then Needle's mom ate some of that bad tofu that's been going around. So there was some reshuffling in the L sector duty roster, and here I am. I kinda wish I was cleaning the clock, though. So much nicer up there without all the cameras.
The cameras?
Wave to Big Brother, or Big Husband in this case.
I feel the same way as Lorraine. I would much rather be up there.
I saw you talking to Biff about the Citizen Plus program.
Biff says I'd be a perfect candidate for it.
I know Biff, and if that's what the Citizen Plus program does to people, then you don't want any part of it.
But Biff has been reformed. Look at him. He seems so happy now. So at peace with this town. What I wouldn't give.
He's a total veg, Mom.
Your father is always telling me that I don't invest enough in the workings of our great Citizen Brown. Maybe it's time for me to turn a new leaf and just go with the flow.
Okay, just hold off for a bit, please. I don't want you doing anything rash.
It's amazing how life experiences can change you as a person as you grow older. Like, teenage Lorraine knows what she wants and she goes for it. That's one thing you can give to her. And in this alternate and the other alternate, she just becomes submissive. And it's really sad. And it happens a lot in real life too, so It's one of those things of art mirroring reality. Anyway, enough philosophizing.
All right, let's talk about something else.
Alrighty, dear.
I was just thinking about if I said that word right. It's a difficult word for somebody who can't speak. Anyway.
I feel like I don't know anybody anymore.
Well, Martin, that could be a sign you need to get out more.
Is there any way I could talk to Citizen Brown?
Oh, you know how difficult that is, Martin. The great man spends so much time coming up with new rules and demerits that he barely has time to talk to us anymore. I guess that's the price we pay for a safe, happy city.
So he doesn't see anyone?
Not unless someone starts rolling up the demerits. He still takes a personal interest in those situations. And of course you could talk to Mrs. Brown.
Clara?
No, silly. Edna.
Edna Strickland?
Aw. Marty, why are you surprised?
Wait, Doc, Citizen Brown is married to Edna Strickland?
Did you get a bump on the head or something? They've been happily married for nearly 40 years. In fact, if you ask me, I think Edna wears the pants in the relationship. She's the one
definitely.
always announcing the day-to-day bulletins. Probably writes them herself.
I need to sit down.
Or Doc's gotta be lonely in this life he leads.
Biff seems, unusually mellow.
Well, he should be. He just finished the Citizen Plus program. So far, it looks like it's done him a world of good.
You don't think he seems a bit off? I mean, he's so un-Biff.
Well, isn't that the point? You remember what he used to be like? He was an unholy terror.
He wasn't that bad.
Now, sure, but you should have seen him in high school.
Marty.
I can imagine.
Marty, he was pretty bad. He did kind of sexually assault her. I mean, it's pretty bad.
What do you think of Jennifer, Mom?
Well, she certainly looked like quite a handful, dear. I was really hoping some of her, joie de vivre would have rubbed off on you.
What do you mean by that?
Well, Martin, you can be a little uptight sometimes.
Geez, don't sugarcoat it, Mom.
Well, maybe you needed to hear it. There's nothing wrong with having priorities in life. Just maybe Jennifer should have been a little higher on your list.
Yeah, she should.
Well, you did buy that guitar. That's a step in the right direction. Women love musicians. Just keep practicing and I'm sure you'll get better.
What are you talking about? I'm a great musician.
That's the spirit.
Aw.
Jen's dad doesn't seem to like me very much.
He's just a little stressed out, dear. Filling the crime-stomping shoes of his legendary father makes poor Danny Jr. a little twitchy.
So I see.
But he gets the job done. Between him and his father, Hill Valley's been as dry as the Sahara Desert for decades now. Unfortunately.
Dry. Doc was right. We did overdo it. All right, let's talk about something else.
Alrighty, dear.
Is it just me, or does Hill Valley feel really strict today?
Some might even call it stifling. But you didn't hear that from me.
Oh, she looks exhausted.
Biff told me that he got in trouble for public displays of affection.
Can you believe it? Sure, things got a little out of control back in the 60s with the free love and all, but now even holding hands will get you a verbal warning.
Wait, so you can't even kiss?
Can't even hug. It's barbaric. City Hall treats us like a bunch of children going to the movies.
Wow.
Biff was talking about all the contraband he used to keep. Do you know anything about that?
What are you implying, Martin?
I'm not implying anything. I just want to know what kind of contraband might still be around. You know, so I can watch out for it. Like a good citizen.
Well, I wouldn't know about such things, but people still smuggle alcohol in from the next county. I heard the kids at school have been smuggling Xerox copies of Dungeons and Dragons. I bet you'd be into something like that, huh?
I'll get back to you on that.
Oh, come on, Marty. You are so into that. You would love it. Let your inner nerd come out, Marty.
Is it true that Biff was responsible for getting dogs outlawed?
I think that was all Edna's idea. She's always had a sore spot for dogs. Now, your father and I, we love dogs.
You do? I didn't know that. How come we never had a dog?
We had meant to get one to teach you children about responsibility, but by the time we had you, dogs had already been banned. Now I don't think we'll ever have the chance to raise a puppy.
Aww.
Jeez, Mom, that could be the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Are there dogs on the clock tower?
All right, let's talk about something else.
Alrighty, dear.
I think we're done with this conversation. Try to stay positive. Yeah, there are dogs up there. What a weird... I mean, they are... Well, they were in the 1931 clock tower, so I guess maybe they just haven't been renovated. Which is weird considering everything else has. Anyway. Maybe we can annoy Edna to letting us in.
In Valley Courthouse? How may I...
Look, I really need to see Citizen Brown. It's an emergency.
Are you on fire?
Of course not.
Are you bleeding profusely on the pavement?
I could be.
No, but it's a...
Then it's no emergency that couldn't wait for a scheduled appointment. Good day. Stop pressing my button.
Hey, let me in!
There's the broad.
Edna!
There. Now you've ruined it for everyone.
Please, just give me 5 minutes with Citizen Brown.
No appointment, no entry, nobody, no how.
Well, I'm a body. Can I go in? I mean, I'm still conscious. Alright, well, apparently we can't walk through the front door, despite our best efforts. And we can't walk on the grass, despite my best efforts. So maybe we should just give George Lorraine's timesheet and see what's happening at the house. Off we go.
Well, it's not the truck, but I guess it'll do.
I don't know, golf carts can be pretty fun, I imagine.
I don't know, John.
That's
Isn't
super
this
creepy.
illegal?
What isn't illegal in Hill Valley?
What if Citizen Brown's watching?
Don't worry, nobody can see us here.
He's a peeping Tom.
Dad, try to warn your old man the next time, okay?
This game is so smart. I love this game.
Please address me as Mrs. Citizen.
Did you hear that? On the feeds?
What's the problem, citizen?
Everything's perfectly all right now. We're fine. We're all fine now, thank you. How are you?
See? Marty's a dork. That was a Star Wars reference. So don't tell me he won't like Dungeons and Dragons.
Effective against moths, mosquitoes, and tannins.
Hell yeah, it is. What?
Attention, citizens! This domicile is in violation of Civic Ordinance CZ-36 and has been placed in protective quarantine until corrective measures
God.
can be taken. Please back away from the house and have a nice day.
What the hell?
Don't violate the perimeter, son.
Was it a crime scene?
Hey, LaFleur.
Who died?
Insufficiently polished shoes. Good day, citizen.
That one reminded me of the time I got detention in middle school for having my shoes untied. I'm not kidding. I have my shoes untied too often.
Hey, what's my guitar doing out here?
Your mother and I convinced you to give it up, remember? Rock and roll music is frowned on by the Brown administration. It
What?
sets a poor example for all the kids who look up to you as a model of studiousness and moral gravity. And besides, you're not very good.
Alright, Huey, Lewis. Back off, alright? Marty's great.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
Come on, Dad, I need that guitar.
Give me one good reason why I should give it back to you.
Because
It's my density.
rock and roll is my density.
I knew it.
Destiny.
Destiny! What would you know about destiny? Now quit fooling around and get back to your studies.
my density.
Music is good for you. It improves your mental performance.
Then take up the piccolo. Leave the electric guitar to the rebels and malcontents.
A certain girl is only gonna like me if I can play the guitar.
A certain girl? You don't mean...
Jennifer.
Oh, Martin. Why are you fixated on that little hellion? She's nothing but trouble.
Yeah, my kind of trouble.
Yeah.
And besides, the way you play guitar, you're only gonna drive her further Go ahead, son. Do your worst.
Thanks, Dad.
Well, that
Sure
worked.
you got hit with some more demerits, Nathan. Good on you, I say. Sure. Never trust a guy with less than 1,000 demerits, am I right?
I saw Mom downtown. She told me to give this to you.
Thanks.
Say, what gives around here?
Ah, you know, the usual. Keeping tabs on Hill Valley through my trusty bank of monitors. Always on the lookout for some interesting footage.
Creepy. Yep.
Interesting. What do you mean, interesting?
What kind of silly question is that? I've been gathering candid documentary footage for Citizen Brown's promotional videos for over a year now. I know your mother doesn't approve of my work, but wait a minute. You say you saw Lorraine? 11 to 12 hair salon, 12 to 12:20 lunch at soup mo counter, cream of asparagus with crackers.
Yuck.
What was that?
You know your mother's problems. If she slips up again, it could mean demerits for the whole family. There she is, polishing the statue in the park. Just like the schedule dictates. Oh, then everything's fine. Good. Unless... How was she when you spoke to her? Lucid? Sober?
She was coping with this awful tragedy of the reality we're living in right now.
What are you getting at? Jeez, I'm not gonna rat my own mom, even if she is a...
Shh. I don't know for sure that your mother has relapsed into her old ways, but she's been acting very odd lately, almost as if she didn't like my constant supervision. Confidentially, I suspect she's got a flask hidden somewhere, probably very near the spot where she's working right now. Do me a favor, son, will you? See if you can worm the truth out of her. She won't confide in me, but she may be less guarded with you. Double rations this week if you help your old man out. What do you say?
Rations?
That's a good boy.
Okay, Dad, we need to talk.
Yeah, we do.
What were you hiding when I came in just now?
Hiding? I don't know what you're talking about, son.
Come on, I saw it. It was a videotape, right?
I might as well tell you. After all, you'll be 18 soon.
Tell me what?
Hill Valley under Citizen Brown is not quite the contented town you were led to believe it was.
No joke.
You're kidding.
This isn't a criticism of the great man himself, of course, or his sainted wife, Edna. No one's worked harder than they to apply the most advanced social planning techniques to our municipality. But,
What?
confidentially, not everybody appreciates it. A great many citizens, perhaps even the majority, actively resent the Brown administration. They don't say so publicly, of course. But in private, well, just listen.
I tell you, Bert, this regime is a joke. They're all laughing at us over in Fairfax.
A toast to Citizen Brown. May his beloved courthouse be struck by lightning. Shh, Agnes, you're awful. Are you coming to the town square, Lester? Citizen Brown's about to give another speech.
Citizen Brown can kiss my hairy...
Well, you get the idea.
It sounds like people can't stand what the Browns have done to Hill Valley.
Not everyone. Only around 50%, maybe 60.
Does Citizen Brown know?
He should. Whenever I send copies of my raw footage to the public relations department over at the courthouse, I get a memo telling me how much Citizen Brown thanks me for my service. But how could he see those videos and not do anything about it?
Maybe you should take your tapes directly to Brown.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, sure, he might appreciate my bringing these problems to his attention and reward me for my public service, but then again,
Ray's
they
expression
say
there.
it's never wise to be the bearer of bad news.
It's sad that Emmett Brown went from being an avoided eccentric in our timeline to outright hated in this one. Whether he's eccentric or not, well, we haven't seen him ourselves, so it's hard to tell at this point.
Why don't you give me those videotapes? I'll take them to Citizen Brown.
Thanks for offering, son, but I don't want to get you involved. Citizen Brown won't like what he sees on them, and I wouldn't want you to get the brunt of his displeasure. Not to mention the displeasure of all the folks on the tapes. Once they find out I recorded them, no, I'm not letting these tapes out of my sight. It's too dangerous.
Alright, we'll just protect them.
It's about Mom. How'd she get to be such a mess? This isn't how she is in my perfect world.
You're right, it's a real puzzle. Because of course we both know Hill Valley is a perfect world.
Nope.
But for some peculiar reason, the harder I try to get her to conform to the rules, the more she slips up.
Yeah. I've always liked Lorraine, but I feel like when I grow older, I relate to her more. maybe it's because I'm not just seeing the surface problem of her hitting on somebody who, she doesn't know is her son. But that's fair.
She's thinking about signing up for the Citizen Plus program.
Is she now?
You're not gonna let her go through with it, are you?
Well, from what I hear, it's a fairly drastic procedure which completely reshapes the subject's personality. On the other hand, if Citizen Brown recommends it, it's gotta be a good thing.
That's Cybermen, sir. Have you not watched Doctor Who? It's out by now.
Don't you think Mom would be a little more relaxed if you gave her just a little bit of space?
Now, there's a fine suggestion. What would Hill Valley be like if people gave each other space? Why, we'd all be tempted to follow our own impulses.
Yeah.
And there's no telling where that might lead.
Fun.
Something on your mind?
It's about me.
I'm all ears.
Well, from certain things I've heard, I get the idea that people in this town regard Marty McFly as a...
As a what?
A nerd.
They said that?
In so many words.
Just because a boy studies hard and gets straight A's and respects the rules and doesn't party or drink or stay out late and is perhaps a bit socially inept and obsessed with personal hygiene and prefers his rubber band collection
Stop.
to...
I really don't want to hear anymore.
I'm proud of you, son.
Well, that's one type of nerd, but Marty's very much a different type.
I'm trying to understand why Jennifer broke up with me in this time. Recent past.
Are you still mooning over that girl? Forget her! She's bad news. Why, my surveillance cameras have caught her doing things that are completely against the Hill Valley Code.
I don't want to know.
Kissing boys. Sitting with boys in cars. I've kept quiet about it for her father's sake, but believe me, you're well rid of her.
I just realized I have glasses just like George.
Is there anywhere you expect me to be, like, right now?
Well, I did expect you to be up at the lake until tomorrow with that Math-O-Magic competition,
Oh, God.
so I guess your time is pretty much your own right now.
Cool.
Okay, different subject.
Yeah?
So about you and your, work.
Shoot.
You seem to be really into this spying business.
It's not spying, son. It's cinema verite.
What?
These candid moments of Hill Valley's residents will eventually be compiled and edited into the documentaries and promotional materials that advertise our way of life to the rest of the world.
That's very
True, you can argue that I've taken things to extremes, but I still get up to take my meals and, of course, to use the facilities.
Oh, that's good.
You're supposed to be... wouldn't you rather spend your time writing, say, science fiction novels?
Science fiction. I did mess around with that once, but that was before Citizen Brown made it illegal.
What?
Science fiction's illegal?
Sci-fi promotes an unhealthy obsession with the fantastic and impossible, and it encourages the idea that there might be better societies than Hill Valley, which is subversive nonsense, of course.
Okay. Sci-fi is awesome, and I reject this reality.
Okay, different subject.
I reject Hill Valley. That's it. We need to get out of here, Marty. We need to fix this.
Hill Valley has a lot of rules.
It certainly does, for our own good.
I'm still reeling from that science fiction thing.
Public kissing is illegal, right?
Ah, the old PDA law. Indeed it is. And what's more, violation carries a hefty load of demerits. But you know, it's a law people break with surprising regularity. Why, I could show you videotaped evidence.
How exactly do people get other people to break it?
On second thought, perhaps I shouldn't show you the videotaped evidence.
Marty, you gotta be stop being so blunt with your questioning.
If I got caught with a contraband item, I'd get in a lot of trouble, right?
You certainly would. You could be facing up to 1,000 demerits, depending on the item. But of course, you wouldn't be caught dead with anything illegal. It's your mother I'm worried about.
Oh, maybe she can help us in that field.
Did you ever harbor a dangerous animal?
Aha! Couldn't if I wanted to. They've all been banned. But I did catch something very interesting on one of my monitors yesterday. Which one was it? Oh, yes! Does that look like a stray dog to you? Whatever it is,
Heiny.
Edna's Animal Patrol will make short work of it.
Oh no. Poor Heiny.
Did you ever harbor a dangerous animal?
Aha!
I didn't recognize the phrasing. I just wasn't paying attention.
Something on your mind?
It's about someone we both know.
Yes?
There's so much text that it's hard to remember what we saw and what we didn't.
Have you seen Biff lately?
Not since he went to the reconditioning center. Is he back among the living?
That's not a great phrasing.
Depends on what you mean by living. He's really different from the way I remember him.
Lucky dog. In a way, it isn't fair that Hill Valley's biggest scofflaw should be the first to receive the benefits of the new Citizens Plus program. But I know I shouldn't be jealous.
Benefits.
Have you ever spent time with Citizen Brown?
Well, of course I'm in the audience for every one of his public addresses.
One-on-one, I mean.
Oh, no. He'd never notice a common Sector L citizen like me. But I dream that someday he'll recognize me for my public service and maybe let me shake his hand.
In a different timeline, he stole from terrorists. I mean, I'm just pointing this out here. Little decisions can really change your life.
What can you tell me about Edna?
Mrs. Citizen Brown? Oh, she's a wonderful woman. People just think of her as this sweet, self-effacing grandmotherly type.
Edna? Are we talking about the same?
But really, she's just as involved in running the town as her husband is.
David and Linda.
Have you heard from them?
No, I thought maybe you had.
Not in ages. As far as I know, he's still working for the big city newspaper, and she's still in that women's boarding house. I'll never understand why they decided to leave Hill Valley.
Well, at least they're doing okay. Got out.
Something on your mind?
What's the deal with the house, Dad?
I don't know how to tell you this, son, but while you were away at your Mathemagic competition, our house got slapped with a CZ36 violation.
What?
I know, it's so embarrassing. Your mother's mortified. She works so hard to keep a clean house, but those dust mites are so
Wait, what?
hard to keep down.
Wait a minute, we can't go into the house because of dust mites?
Well, not until they send in the cleanup crew.
This is ridiculous.
Thank goodness they let me move my office out here into the garage.
So, when is this dust mite problem gonna be solved so I can get to all my stuff?
Well, the cleanup crew said they'd probably get around to it by tonight, but they're kind of backed up, so I wouldn't expect them until tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow? Where am I supposed to sleep?
I got it all covered, son. We're gonna camp out back just like we did when you were little.
Aw.
Okay, this timeline is officially a nightmare.
That was like one of the first cute things that George even mentioned, Marty. Also, what?
How exactly does this setup work?
I'm glad to see you taking an interest. Each of these monitors is connected to multiple cameras, of which I've strategically jacked into throughout the valley, with official clearance, of course. I can switch between cameras with these buttons. There's also a VCR for each monitor. I keep a record of everything I see, so if I happen across something intriguing, I can keep it on file.
I love VCRs and VHS tapes. I actually just got the VHS tape for Back to the Future and Groundhog Day. So I'm building that collection now too, apparently. Alright, I think we're done here.
Well, I'll leave you to your snooping.
Supervising, son, supervising.
Yeah.
I'll leave you to it.
Right.
Alright, anything else?
Another day in Hill Valley.
Greetings, programs. LeBrock 2.0. Anatomical constructs for sciences of all sorts. Boring. WOPR. A Whopper. I wonder what that stands for.
A computer in an excellent film that I haven't seen in ages.
Game Grid. Sweet. The movie was better, though.
I'm not aware of the other two, though. I'll have to look into it. Anyway, I'm sorry this episode was just a lot of talking.
Insufficiently
But,
polished shoes.
hey.
Good day, citizen.
Apparently it's one of the only things that's not illegal in this world. So I guess we're stuck doing it for a while. But next time, we will be breaking the rules. I promise. I know I said it last time, but this time for sure, we will be breaking the rules next time. This is Zoe, Punxsy Dawn, saying make like a tree and get out of here. And I was this close to starting this time, but I didn't do it, and I'm so proud of myself. Anyway, goodbye.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Citizen Brown.
It's a good old-fashioned modern way of living, and no one does it better than we do. Finally, it's time when all of these fine men get to have their cake and eat it too.
What did I tell you? It's like utopia. It's a nightmare.